Did your last marketing message break this golden rule? Each and every one of you made one fatal error today in your marketing message. Now, that one thing might have slipped through or gone unnoticed because it wasn't an obvious thing, like a spelling error, using a word incorrectly, or not having a compelling call to action. In fact, that one thing, the fatal error that you made today, wasn't anything that you said at all. That's why no one brought it to your attention until now. But you know deep down, or at least you probably suspect, that something happened because a large percentage of the audience that saw your message today didn't get it, and they didn't purchase your product or service. Let's take a look at why, so that you can take action now and turn your message into one that your leads and customers are dying to say yes to. Now, you may not know this, but your brain sees and interprets images first and makes decisions quickly based on what it sees. And after all of this has occurred, much later, it pays attention and tries to process what it hears and the words and numbers that you have read. Now, somewhere between 80 to 90% of your brain activity and what's going on in the minds of your prospects is as a result of trying to make sense of visual stimuli. The optic nerve is physically connected to your old brain, which you already know is the decision-making part of your brain. And it processes visual cues 40 times faster than auditory ones. What happens is your retina captures images and it sends the data on two distinct paths. One goes up to your new brain, your neocortex, the thinking part of your brain, and the other goes straight to the reptilian or old brain. Here's the interesting part. This second pathway to the decision-making part of your brain is much faster. In fact, it's about 500 times faster. If it takes 1 to 2 milliseconds for the old brain to process a visual cue, it could take your new brain or neocortex up to 500 milliseconds. This makes this part of your brain dangerously fast and hasty. Since you and I cannot rely for our survival on the speed at which the new brain processes information, we are hardwired to make decisions at the old brain level. And as you can see, those decisions are primarily based on visual input. And your new brain will only kick in much later to help you find data to support your gut reaction, that decision that you've already made at the old brain level. Your eyes control your brain. And this is also true for your customers. That's how important visual cues are to your survival and to your sales and marketing messages. Let's take a very good look at an example of what not to do. I saw this sign at the front window of a vet clinic in my neighborhood this week. In big orange letters, it took up almost 70% of their front window. Pet laser treatment. Now, if you were a potential customer driving by, would that sign mean anything to the part of your brain that decides? No, of course not. The average person driving by would have no idea what pet laser means or why it would be good or a good reason to choose that clinic over the next one down the street. To your older reptilian brain, this sign means nothing. If you're a pet owner, what do you care about? What's important to you in the context of finding a good vet? If you're like most pet owners, you want to know that when you take your animal in for surgery, the pain's minimized, the surgery is safe, and the healing happens quickly. If you owned a pet, those things would be important to you, wouldn't they? Yeah. Now, surprisingly, pet laser does achieve all of those outcomes. Less pain, less risk, and quicker recovery. But that sign didn't help you to know and to decide, did it? As you're driving by, that vet has 2 to 3 seconds to grab your attention and convey his message. And you now know that the best way to do that would be a picture, not a bunch of words, right? What he needed to do was show you a photo of, maybe a dog or a cat that's fit and healthy with a message like, "We guarantee less risk and a faster recovery for your pet. Ask us how." Or, "Want Fido's next surgery to be virtually pain-free? Ask us how." Ask us how. Now, you may not be a veterinarian yourself, but I'm sure that you can see exactly how this applies to your business. How visual are your sales and marketing assets? Take a look at the very last email, brochure, or presentation that you made. Was it loaded up with words and stuff that only means something to you? Do you even have pictures? And did they serve a purpose? Or were they just there to fill up space? Each and every day, I see business owners just like you making this fatal mistake. The part of your prospect's brain that decides is a visual beast. It's relying on pictures to make a decision. And you are trying to convey everything with words and numbers, aren't you? Your audience can't tell you exactly why your message is just not appealing to them. But I just did. Your customer's brain sees images first and words second. In order to get your audience to pay attention and remember your message, you need to quickly deliver a clear picture to the old brain. This is the golden rule of marketing and sales seduction. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you continue to break this golden rule, you will fail to close sales and help customers who actually really need your product or service.